All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. See you, Zach, in here early. Stacy. And Braylon Davis. This is our first race of the year with the NBC crew. So today's race is on USA Network. I know not everyone has that network, so we will be here covering today's race. Yesterday was a really fun race. If you didn't get a chance to see yesterday's O'Reilly race, I definitely would recommend seeking out a replay. Hopefully today's race can live up to it. I don't know. We'll see what this Gen 7 car does. Cars are rolling off of pit road. Is Heim time in this race? Let's look through our running order. I did not watch any practice or qualifying this week. So I'm not up to date. No, it doesn't look like it. He's in a very part-time schedule. Good to see you, Justin. Yes, we are back. Cup racing. That's your home track. Very nice. Your boy Carson Quaffle won yesterday, and your dark horse yesterday was Ross Chastain. And his predictions for cautions was 10. Not bad. Good to see you, Dark Side. Hope you're having a very fine weekend. It translated King's comment to yo yo to me. I don't know why YouTube does that. Stream's barely delayed at all. Yeah. Whenever it's whenever I have to watch through a cable provider like YouTube TV or back when I had DirecTV, it's always closer to you guys. Good to see you, Rusty. Rusty, are you going to Daytona in a few weeks? Broken back. So Stacy updating us about the driver who was sent to the hospital last night. Broken back. That's rough. I was born like that. As a result of a broken back. It's a true story. I came into the world with CTE. I had my first concussion in the womb. Really explains a lot. Oh, yeah. So, Ryan Blaney, I feel like it's a really good pick today because of how well he can wrap the bottom. It seems like at a lot of these shorter tracks, even though this is the longest short track they go to, wrapping the bottom is really effective. But in the O'Reilly race, we saw the top side kind of become preferred later in the run. Obviously, Kyle Larson's always got to be one of the guys you look at as a favorite to win. It's good seeing Joey and Brad up there, our older veterans. We have Reddick and Ty Gibbs, some younger guys. Austin Dillon in 7th. Not shocked about that because of this track's subtle similarities to Richmond. Now, Connor Zilic being in 8th is a shocker, so I guess Trackhouse brought a good package today. Ross Chastain up there as well. Eric Jones top 10 at the moment. Josh Berry not too far off. You know, he is a short track guy. That would make sense. Front row guys up here as well. Mid-pack, not too bad. We have Larson here. 2nd. William Byron, who has a win here. 19th. Alex Bowman. 30th. Chase Elliott, 32nd. Not a great qualifying effort for Hendrick Motorsports. It seems like a lot of the teams are split up. RFK is very split up. Brad's way up here. Everyone else is split apart. The Legacy guys are split apart. 2311 somewhat. We have a couple Toyotas up here, but we're not used to seeing them so far down, so perhaps they were just set up for race trim. Late in the race, I wouldn't be shocked if these guys just started running better. Yeah, Austin's definitely older. You know, we don't know how many years Austin has left. Like, he could go several more years, but I feel like he's going to retire earlier than most, so he can take an active leadership role in the team. You're not wrong, Justin. You're not wrong. All right, Blaney already pulling out to an early lead. Larson right behind him. So I mentioned this yesterday. I was really wondering if Logano was going to be able to follow up his success from the last couple weeks. And, you know, so far starting well. Still side by side with Ty Gibbs for 3rd. All right. Ty might get him here. Joey wrapped the bottom and lost it. Up the track a bit and had to back out of it. All right, Austin Dillon. Getting it done so far. Oh no! Aggressive goes around! I think Tyler Reddick lost it, maybe, and collected Eric Jones. Oh, did Brad have to go to the rear? I guess. I don't know. I don't know. He was up there. I'm guessing he had to go to the rear. That's... My goodness. The problems continue for Mr. Tyler Reddick. I gotta get my notepad pulled up. Oh, he just lost it. And collected Eric Jones. Could have been a good day for Eric. We'll never know, though. Eric on that points bubble. This is going to put him in a really bad position. That may have ruined Eric Jones' chances to make the chase. It definitely is. I mean, it's definitely chase implications. Yeah, if you're on that cut line, every single lap matters now. Or on that bubble, you know, you're hoping for stage points. You're hoping for a good finish, if not a win, and get those bonus points. And with how Eric Jones can run at some of these more skilled tracks, how they've been trending towards running lately, I mean, this could have been a really good day for Eric, but That's it. That's it for Tyler Reddick, and Eric Jones is probably also done for the day. We'll see. Then get that car back out there. Nope, he's done. He's done. Let me take it back. I think he's done. Watching that replay back. My goodness. G Dangerous says not even 4 laps in. Yep. Brad, Chase, and Hamlin to the rear. Thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Well, Brad's going to have to dig. He's going to have, you know, I don't know if it still is, but that used to be Chase Elliott's team saying, DI9, dig. Well, out of lapping. Maybe we got our big caution out of the way for stage 1. It doesn't really change much for us, though, in terms of like fuel strategy and stuff. Let's take a look at J-Ski real quick. Really quickly. So the fuel window, they have it set at 120. Sometimes that's a bit off, so don't take that as the gospel truth. But usually it's relatively accurate ballpark. But this first stage, we shouldn't require any fuel. So they should be able to just run it out to the end of this stage. Let's see, pre-race inspection. Cars of Daley Gilliland and Ryan Preece failed inspections twice. 34 will lose pit selection for this event. And car chief ejected. 60 will lose pit selection. And Jerry Cook ejected. Blaney's going to be restarting or pitting out of the first pit stall. You can see that here. And Larson has an opening in front of him, 6th stall. So not a bad spot for Larson, but definitely a slight advantage for Blaney. We'll see if his pit crew can find a way to let him down. But for Blaney, as long as he can stay in like the top 3, he always has a shot to retake the lead during a pit cycle. So that's definitely an exciting opportunity for Blaney and Blaney fans, or it'll just make it more heartbreaking when his pit crew drops the ball and has a 20-second pit stop. So Keselowski unapproved, Chase Elliott unapproved, and Hamlin unapproved. That explains what happened with those guys. Yep, Eric Jones, 74 below the cut line. I believe he was a lot closer before this race started, so this race kind of killed him here. So what we're looking at today is Priest, Keselowski, and Chastain. Can those guys cut the gap to SVG? SVG running 16th right now. That's not going to pay out for stage points if he doesn't improve that over the course of this run. But I don't think that Keselowski's in a place to get stage points. Maybe Chastain could get up there. We'll see. Priest, maybe he could. So this may just come down to their finishing position. But if SVG finishes where he typically does on an oval, and one of those guys, one of the three, get up there and finish top 10, then it could cut that point gap down to just 40 points. Now, if one of those guys could get up there and even get stage points in stage 2, make even more gains. I think it's going to be the big story will be how well does SVG run. If he ran to his peak potential, then he's in the chase. But if he slips, if he falls back into how he runs on an average day on the ovals, then he's going to end up missing the chase. But the wild card is Daytona. Daytona could really shake things up. Lou says yesterday was a crazy race. Definitely. It definitely was. A little look there at J-Ski. This is a reminder to check in for today's race if you are a member of the NASCAR Fan Rewards program. Don't miss out on your points. May not be many per race, but you do get extra points for having a streak. And you get more points based on what level you are. I think I might get 87 points per race or something because I'm at champion level or something. If SVG doesn't make it to the chase, Trisha will be sad. Who knows? I mean, he might do well here. I appreciate all the work SVG's done running legend cars. He's built himself a dirt track, I believe, in his backyard. I don't know where it is, but he's built his own little short track, or his own little dirt track. It's a flat dirt track. So he's trying to work on his racecraft, and that's just the dedication to come over here to NASCAR and then put all that effort into learning oval racecraft is just very admirable. So Blaney back out to the lead on the restart. Larson not yet clear of Logano. Logano with a really good restart on the inside. We are 3 wide further back. Josh Berry in the Menards colors today. I love when the Menards car has a green hood. Green is Menards' primary color, but when they do sponsors, for whatever reason, probably branding, they pick that yellow color. You go to a Menards in person, everything's green. Justin said, what number? Good to see you, Doodlebug. I don't know if I said that. Have you shown us the pictures yet of SVG and Trisha? Because I do have that picture. So Jason was telling us a couple weeks ago that Trisha got to meet SVG and they got their picture together. That's so cool. Woo! John Hunter ran McDowell up the track pretty high. It's a little early to be using guys up like that. Might see a Brent Cruz situation later. We kind of already did with Reddick, but Reddick just lost it. He didn't dive bomb the corner. Zilich still running top 10. And Chastain's up there in 7th. If Chastain gets stage points here and just has an overall good day, that's going to really close the gap to SVG. Whoa, we have some cars stacking up here. 3 wide further back. Where's Mr. SVG? 20th right now, so just off our screen. These guys don't single file out as quickly as the O'Reilly cars did. Austin Dillon 5th. I would love to see an Austin Dillon win today. That would just be absolutely peak. I love seeing the guys that don't win often grab one. Bubba Wallace 11th. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 13th right now. Good day for some random teams. Who did I didn't make a pick today. I did see a few people pick Blaney, so he was a popular pick going in, and that was, I believe, before qualifying. So whoever that was that picked Blaney, that was a decent pick. It makes sense. Like, you can tell why Blaney would be a popular pick here. Just the style of racing suits him. And I'm not shocked by Gibbs right now. Gibbs does really well on the short tracks. They're saying Team Trackhouse won today in their MotoGP race. That's pretty cool. So it's interesting, some of these teams that are in all different sports. You can kind of include Penske in that, although they're mostly just four-wheel stuff. But Rick Ware is another one of them, who just has teams in like every different form of motorsport. Braylon says, go Byron. I have my Byron hat on and a Jeff Gordon shirt on. So I'm all decked out in the 24 today. At least Reddick got that scheme off the track. Yeah, I agree. It's not a great scheme. It reminds me of the UPS scheme from back in the day, but just uglier in every way. I think the UPS scheme always looked a little nice because obviously the branding, it's very good branding, but they mixed the brown with like that shade of gold. And it was just a good transition. The Reddick car is just white and brown. Yeah. Now, I don't know how it would look, but it would be interesting if they swapped those colors. Brown and white. Yeah, the Rick Ware Empire is so impressive. I think they still do, Christian. Zach says his winning pick is Kyle Larson, dark horse Zilich. Cautions today 10, just like yesterday. That remains to be seen. I really like that Hardy's car Bubba Wallace runs. It's interesting that it's just a Hardy's car and they never run Carl's Jr.'s. Carl Jr.'s. However, because over the whole nation, some areas have Carl Jr.'s and some have Hardy's. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Briscoe ran well. That's a name that I hadn't really thought about. He's in the thumbnail. That was intentional. Found an image. I was like, oh, Briscoe. I'll put him on there. Really close. Running very close with Stenhouse. We're seeing it again. It's really hard to pass on the inside. And that NASCAR always looks good. That Stenhouse car, he has had some great paint schemes. Back when he ran the Sunny D cars, this NASCAR looks great. Just impressive stuff. Honestly, Yak, however you pronounce it, you know, Stenhouse's team, and Haas, they should just merge, become a two-car operation. You lose so much by not having a team to communicate with. Hardy's Big Sack with a 2 double cheeseburgers, fries, drink is on point every time. Jason, back in the day, when I went to school in a town that only had a Hardee's, that was the only fast food place, I bought that Big Sack meal so many times. So many times. It was back in the day, it was $5, and it was 2 cheeseburgers, fries, an apple pie, and a drink. And for a broke high school student, that was a life changer. Jones 61 below the cut line. His chase hubs are basically over unless he wins Daytona. Does well at Richmond, New Hampshire. It'll definitely be an uphill battle. The guys he's racing with on the bubble, you know, obviously are still in it. But Chastain's top 10 right now. Could get stage points. We'll see. And Ross might even get by Zillage here if he continues to run faster lap times. I'm just hoping Brad gets that 6-team turned around. That last week was a good step in that direction, so I'm hoping they continue that pace. But it's going to come down to potentially RFK teammates. Priest versus Keselowski. Very nice, Lou. All right, we'll see you, Zach. Jason says he misses the days of Hardee's having fried chicken. Chicken's amazing. Gotta be a top 10 animal. Gotta be. $5 bag was a lifesaver. I used to eat so much Hardee's. I would have it for breakfast. I have a Frisco breakfast sandwich and an orange juice with the hash browns. And then I would occasionally get that $5 bag in the evening as well. Cole Custer not having a great day. He had a good week last week, I believe. Or 2 weeks ago, I should say. Last week they raced. Chase not able to move up through the pack. He has been stuck back here. Priest struggling. Brad hasn't moved up past 28th in him. Or he hasn't moved in a minute. Might be able to pick off Austin Hill here. We're going to see some of these guys go lap down. All right. All right, Hocevar, maybe on his way out of the race. All right, maybe not. Potentially a configuration issue for Hocevar. That's worrying. It would be funny if Hocevar wrecked at least one person before his car eventually detonates. If it does. Oh, very nice. I don't remember that. I can't remember anything from before yesterday. Basically. Oh, that's nice, Jason. We don't have a White Castle in my area. Closest White Castle is in Tennessee. Jordan says tomorrow's his birthday. King just had a birthday. Jason has a birthday coming up. Jordan with a birthday. A lot of birthdays in August. A lot of birthdays. What's going on in December that causes that? Thanksgiving specifically. So Blaney's still with the lead, a really healthy lead. A lot larger than we saw yesterday. Logano's second. I didn't notice that, but he has gotten by Larson. Rest of the top 10 pretty stable. I thought Chastain might get by Zilich. He was running faster lap times, but I don't know how much dirty air is affecting them today. And thankfully, this track has a few different grooves to run. But if you go back and look at yesterday's race, a lot of times guys would tuck in and run a preferred groove until it was time to go down and make the pass. You don't really have that luxury in this car. Byron has moved up through the running order. Byron has a win here. That's important to remember. Could Byron finally return to victory lane? 24.6, pretty much 24.7. So that was faster than the leader, but I don't know how much the lap times matter here, how spread apart they are. Joey also ran a 24.6 there. Close between Byron and Bubba. And about, so maybe 4/10 is the dirty air bubble, around 4/10. Just keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on that. When the interval gets down to around probably 6 to 4/10, I think that may be what our aero disadvantage is here today. I'm just seeing a lot of that through the field. 4/10, 4/10. They're down below 7th and 8th. And then almost 4/10. About 6/10, 4/10. A little below 3/10. So it maybe. Lou says his birthday was yesterday. Interesting. Interesting, Lou. A lot of good people born yesterday. A lot of good people. Might be the greatest possible day to have a birthday, other than July 4th. Who's the biggest mover? That's a great question. I have no clue. Maybe Briscoe. He's been moving quite a bit. Josh Berry's up from 13th. I wouldn't say that qualifies him for biggest mover. Byron has moved up a lot as well. He was way back here. He's moved up to 14th. Denny. Denny probably going to run well here by the end of the day. I figure this track suits him pretty well. So Denny might be the biggest mover. SVG back to 23rd. Brad hasn't moved recently. Priest and Chase still kind of locked back here. They may have to make some kind of a tire gamble at some point. Blaney's about to start lapping these guys too. This is going to put them in a very bad place. Busher back there as well. Chase is trying to work on Priest here. Blaney's a little trapped. This pack of cars trying to stay on the lead lap. Look at that interval for the lead. Joey's closing in. If these guys continue to run right in front of Blaney and block him in, this may open the door for Joey Logano. Chase is struggling to get around the track. In the corners, his car is pathetic. What did they do to this car? They accidentally opened the... I mean, I wouldn't say accidentally, but they opened the door for Blaney. Blaney's about to pick these guys off. So the competition here is between Priest and Chase Elliott. You cannot give Blaney clean air. You cannot do it. All right, Chase is one lap down. Can he stay one lap down, or is he also going to pick off Priest? You know, these are good cars. It's a huge advantage. Oh, Priest up the track. That's going to open the door for Elliott. So now Elliott, again, the first car one lap down. Priest just lost it through the corner. So Priest also lap down now. If you sent them initially, I should still have them. Hamlin also a big moment. Way up the track. My goodness. Is that Mr. LaJoy? I think Mini Tyrell. And Braden. That's awesome. I would have loved to have met Braden. Braden Laster. I follow him on Twitter. I'll show off some of these here in a moment. Once we get the stage break. I'm gonna have to be careful not to leak anyone's information. Yeah, I mean, passing's difficult. We'll see how it goes. These guys may be able to make some adjustments here. Yesterday's race was just so good. This one's going to have a lot of difficulty to live up to that. But maybe the track will widen out some. We'll see. Think Bell's going to do it? I would be okay with that. So Zillage still top 10, but barely. Chastain right now in position to earn a chunk of stage points. This will really help his argument to potentially point his way into the chase. Uh-oh. Buscher's trying to pass Elliott. Not going to make it. Chase Elliott will receive the free pass. All right. So I'll show you guys some pictures that Jason sent us. Take a look at a few of them. I have to be careful here. This is a picture of SVG meeting Trisha. She has the SVG shirt on, so that's great. Because one thing I don't like doing is meeting a driver. I'm excited to see them, obviously, and I like most of the guys, but I don't like meeting a driver and having someone else's gear on. That's always a weird moment. And here's a picture: Jason, Trisha, and Mini Tyrell. Nice looking fire suit, and it looks like Jason got a couple of hero cards. They met Tony Breidinger as well. It's crazy. You guys met so many people. Picture of Malcolm in the middle. And I believe that's Mr. Corey LaJoy. I have met Corey LaJoy. Met him under the stands at Bristol. He was in incognito mode. We didn't draw much attention to him. Took a quick picture, and we kept walking. He was on his way to, I guess, go to his hotel or trailer. Jason knows how to get around. Knows how to have a good time. So let's review our stage results. Ryan Blaney taking the stage. Joey Logano did close in there at the end, but just because Blaney was having a hard time with traffic. Kyle Larson third, Ty Gibbs fourth, Austin Dillon up to fifth through that run, up a few spots. Chastain sixth, moved up a little. Bell and Briscoe were moving quite a bit. Zillage down a few spots. Zane Smith receiving one stage point. Just missing Josh Berry. He was up a couple spots throughout the stage. Bubba dropped a spot there at the end. Todd Gilliland 13th. 14th, William Byron. Picked up a handful of positions throughout that stage. And even with Denny Hamlin almost crashing, ended up passing Bowman right there at the very end of the stage. How about that? So Denny's on the move. I would just keep an eye on him. If he picks up a few spots, we get a quick caution here in stage 2. He could pick up a few more and enter the top 10. So Denny, these veterans, you got to watch out for them. Whether it's Denny Hamlin, whether it's Joey Logano, if you see one of those guys, they may be in 30th, stage 1. But if you see them chunking 4 positions at a time, by the end of the race, if you see them around the back half of the top 5, maybe even around 7th to 8th, that's the danger zone. The chance of them winning once they've made all that progress, I mean, just goes through the roof. Those guys are closers. So we're making pit stops here. Joey with a 9.6. Blaney's going to get out just ahead of him. Logano almost took the lead on pit road. That was close. The difference there was Blaney having the better pit stall. Chastain up 2 spots on pit road. Briscoe up 2. All right, a lot of movement there on pit road. Very good, Lou. Marco's here. Austin Cindric's been moving up. Yeah, it seems like Penske really has the setup dialed in today. Even Josh Berry was running well. And sometimes the guys that gravitate more towards road courses, which that was Austin's background, they end up running well on the flatter tracks or shorter tracks. So not completely surprised by that, but I think Penske just really has this setup dialed in today. It'll be interesting to me to see how some of these Toyotas perform in this stage. I mean, the best chance to make your positions is, you know, like the first 20 laps of the stage, it seems. After that, you're kind of locked in. But if Briscoe or Bell can get up there, I would be worried if I was the field. And then obviously, Denny's going to continue to move up through the field unless something just goes bad wrong with that car. Just have my eye on those Toyotas. So far, it's been a good split between the field, having some Chevys up there, having some Fords up there. But the Toyotas are on the move. Nope. You are cursed until they enter at least their teenage years or later adolescent stage. Because even when they're early adolescent, they're gonna, like, if once your kids gain an interest in racing, or if they do, or football, or whatever you're watching, they're gonna want to talk to you about it. So you're constantly gonna have, yeah, I was that kid at one point, so I know how it is. Which would be maddening for me, because when I'm watching an LSU football game, I don't want someone to breathe. Yeah, I don't breathe around me. Don't sneeze around me. I'm locked in on this. They're highlighting that today is the Iowa Corn 350. I'm watching on DD12. So this race isn't on antenna today since it's a USA broadcast. Maybe someone has a USA affiliate, but I don't. I'm watching on YouTube TV. Yeah, any of the races that are on cable, I watch them on YouTube TV. Even though I could save $90 every month if I just watched on DD12. I don't watch much actual TV other than sports. If it's not college football, NFL, the occasional MLB or NBA, or whatever else, I'm usually just watching YouTube. I'm the godfather. I'm the godfather of like 40 kids. If a if all of these people get on a plane and crash at once, I will become the Brady Bunch overnight. Gonna have to install like some barrack-style bunking. Yes, Terrence Marshall was a good one. Lose a ball nowhere, literally a ball nowhere. So right now on the restart, Joey and Ryan side by side. I think Ryan's more in the preferred groove, but Joey's looking on these fresh tires. If he's going to make the move, he needs to do it now. Blaney has the advantage here. Chastain and Larson still side by side. Maybe they just, yeah, they're still somewhat side by side. The top two single filed out. Blaney with the lead. Logano's still looking low for that clean air. Logano might be a bit faster, legitimately. Bubba with a great restart. 3 Toyotas all over each other. Bell leading that group. Bell with Briscoe and Bubba right behind him. The 3 Bs, that's what we call them. I don't think anyone's ever said that, but it's been said now. All right, top 5 have single filed out. All right. Now it's what, the top 7 have single? Okay, it's pretty much the whole top 10 now. Bubba's looking to move up, though. Looking a little racy right now. He's trying to get a race win diecast made of that Hardy's car. So Austin Dillon, the big loser here out of the pit road stuff and the restart. Dropping back from, what, 5th? Bubba's making it work. He's the best car on the bottom of the track right now. And there may be someone better back in the pack, but if you're going to make the bottom work, you have to do it on fresh tires. And he has moved up now, what, 3-4 spots just in the last couple laps? Impressive. But right in front of him, Larson's also running the inside. That's the first car he's run into running that line. So that's going to send him back, give Chastain the advantage. So Bubba had some clean air, but no longer. Lou says he has a weird feeling about Bubba today. The Better Business Bureau. I sicked them on Sony years ago. My account got locked because someone attached their Steam account to my PlayStation account somehow through Call of Duty. And it got my Call of Duty account banned. Even though I hadn't played Call of Duty in months, I logged back in, I was banned from the game. And I finally figured out that it was someone else that logged in, somehow linked their Steam account. Anyway, doesn't matter. I got their Steam account removed. They played on my account for 0.2 hours and got banned in 0.2 hours. So they were doing something awful. Yeah. Yeah, you could actually go to their Steam profile and there was a big banner on it. This person's a hacker. It's like a big warning that they had been banned from multiple games. So Briscoe and Bell side by side still. Zane Smith moving up little by little. Austin losing another spot here. As soon as Jeff Burton says something about the drivers running different lines, they tuck in pretty much single file. That is peak commentator timing. Seems like it's the Blaney show. It seems like it's the Dirty Air show to me. SVG around lap 91. I think Logano might have a slightly better car, at least on the short run. But yeah, Blaney, it's in his hands right now. He has the best pit stall, so even if he loses a spot or two on track, if we have a caution, everyone comes down the pit, Blaney has a really good shot. Little contact with the wall there, but nothing major. I heard from Dylan Gooden. He posted on Twitter about this. He was at the race yesterday. He's probably at the race today. There is apparently no shade in the infield for, just waiting around for the race to start. So not just the drivers dealing with heat, also the fans in attendance dealing with heat. At least it's not a Toyota. Not yet. Not yet. But they were looking pretty racy. Bubba was running that inside line, potentially stronger than Kyle Larson was. But Larson, since he had the track position, dirtied up the air, and Bubba stalled out immediately and lost that position to Ross. Oh, dear. That's not going to help his running position. If Chastain ends up finishing up here, especially in the stage and in the race, that's going to really tighten up that battle at the cut line. There have been, back in the day, this hasn't been talked about for a long time. They don't have the money anymore. But back in the day, there were talks about, and probably not seriously, but just conceptual talks of Bristol getting a dome. I think one of the problems with that was at the time, the sound level. It would have been too much. I don't know. Daytona's not the worst infield. The fan zone, there's places to be. Yeah, the air pollution, it wouldn't have been great. The air quality would have been bad, but you just put some exhaust fans up near the roof. It takes care of it. You won't die. Hey, for all the bad things they could be said, they were innovating back in the day. They were innovating. Well, Bristol's not going to get a dome now for sure. But if NASCAR had stayed at the peak that it was, maybe the actual Bristol wouldn't get a dome, but there probably would be a dome track somewhere. I wouldn't be shocked if it was like, some larger city, maybe even Nashville, having a domed racetrack. I wouldn't have been shocked. Yeah, Bristol's going to get a dome if we have anything to say about it. That's right. They're going to go back there in the spring. There's just going to be a dome. And it's like, your move, NASCAR. You either take it off or we run like this. Going to put our best spin on it. How do you remove the exhaust? You big fans that just suck air out. Put a dome over the fairgrounds. I mean, they already have a roof over the stands, which is nice. Nah. Dark side, I disagree. I disagree. Nah. Gotta think, a dome big enough to hold a racetrack, there's so much air that it would have to get to a really high density to kill anybody. You add some exhaust fans and you're good. You're good. Just sucking the air right out. Getting rid of all that. I wouldn't say all of it, but getting rid of a lot of the carbon buildup. I think it could be done. Like Talladega and receiving lights, I think if there was enough interest in it, combined with money, there's a chance it could happen. Now, one thing I wouldn't want to do is I would not want to sit in the nosebleeds of that track right up where all the dirty air might be hanging. Luzo's Bubba might go to RCR. I don't know about that. That would be the wildest timeline. It's possible to get indoor tractor pulling. Yeah, I mean, there are motorsports that run indoors. I don't know. I would be extremely worried. Like, I don't know if Bubba's going to go anywhere. I'm not saying that he would get let go. But if Corey Heim goes to 2311, wins 3 races a year, 5 races, whatever his potential is, then you have Tyler Reddick doing the same. If you're not winning 1 to 2 races a year, you're sweating a little. Dover in general should have lights. Exactly. Dover, what a beautiful facility it used to be, and it still is, but it was something to behold back in the day. When you go back and play the video games, it doesn't look realistic how big the stands are. That was reality. They packed them in back in the day. All right. Chase. Oh no, Stenhouse into the outside wall. Okay. Chase is going to hold the lead, I think. How did Chase get up there? I wasn't paying attention. I was having fun talking about domed Bristol. Like, Chase stay out or something? Put a dome over Dega. A dome with built-in lights. These are legitimately discussions that happened in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, they had so much money and fans were pouring into the sport. Anything was possible. Anything. Dome over Watkins Glen. Yes. that would ruin the track. The Dome Tona. I like the branding built in. We're thinking outside the dome right now. I think you're right, Lou. I think you're right. Take the dome on down. So Austin Hill moving McDowell up the track, sending him into Stenhouse. 3-car chain reaction. Wait. They were 4 wide into the corner. Yeah, I don't know if Austin Hill got tapped there, but yeah, 4 cars going into the corner, side by side. Did not end well for Stenhouse. There we go, moving dome. That's the only option. Yeah, Bubba and Joey in the top 5. Yeah, Joey's been running pretty well all day. At least on the restarts, he might have the best short run car of the guys up there, or at least between him and Blaney. I don't know. Bubba's running that inside really well on fresh tires. I think a big decider, like obviously track position matters. Whoever has it's going to have a massive advantage. But when they get into lap traffic, how well can whoever's leading at the time get through it? Because we saw even Ryan Blaney, who qualified on pole. We know he has a fast car. We know he's good at these types of tracks. Even he was struggling to get past lap traffic. I mean, guys at the tail end of the field, not even like middle of the pack lap. No, tail end of the field, he was struggling to get through. So if a guy, let's say, just throwing somebody under the bus, Connor Zilic stays, does something, gets the lead, holds it long enough to get to lap traffic. Once he gets there, that would just bring the rest of the top 5 into the conversation. Now, obviously, they would have to deal with the dirty air from the leader. They would have to deal with the dirty air from all the lap traffic. But it may come down to who's better in traffic if we get a long enough run. Yeah, I think you're talking about the Chili Bowl. Yes, he said that now, Lou. Yep. Reddick did not have a great start to the day. Brad not really going anywhere either. Hard to pass today. Chase did the only thing they really could do and gambled on track position. That may be his in game here. There's something wrong with the freight, boss. All right. On the restart, Chase Elliott high side. So what Blaney can do on the bottom. We know he's good at wrapping the bottom at most of these short tracks. Can he do it here? All right. They're still side by side for the lead. Bubba is rolling the bottom extremely well right now. We are about to go 3 wide for the lead. Blaney backs out of it. That's going to open the door for Chase if he can get the power down here. Bubba is about to go to the lead. Bubba's about to go to the lead. Chase has it right now. Chase going to the low side. He's going to play little arrow games here. Bubba's going to arc it back down the track, though. He may be side by side going into 3. We are. Bubba's back in his preferred line. Chase arcing it way up the track, taking a wide line, getting the power down really well. He's just doing everything he can to keep that clean air. A little side draft going into 1. All right, Chase Elliott clear to the lead. Clean air is everything here today. Little side draft down the front stretch. Bubba going to dive it into one really hard. Can he clear up? Bubba Wallace got the power down. So move Bubba Wallace to the lead. Chase Elliott in a second. Now what can Chase do back here in the dirty air? How far back will he fall? Chase is going to need a caution. He's going to need a caution bad. All right. Probably can see Bubba lead out the rest of this stage without a caution. Passing is at a premium. No immunity today. Who's the first Toyota? Oh, well, the guy in the lead. How long is this track? Let me see if I have that info on J-Ski. It's technically a short track, but it's the longest short track we have. I don't have the info there. .875 miles. So less than a mile. That's 1.4 kilometers. Oh, no. Well, I mean, you could just for the hype of it, Lou. With the heat. But we could, I mean, if we're thinking big on a massive scale, you could put a dome anywhere. Put a dome over this track. Enough dome talk. How many laps to go? Let me pull my leaderboard back up. 235 laps to go. And in the stage, a little less than 100 laps to go. All right, let's look at this top five here. Bubba Wallace, Ryan Blaney. So Bubba's, I mean, he's worked his way through the field. So he's definitely extremely strong on the short run. Definitely strong on that inside line. He has the clean air. He can run whatever line he wants right now. So a massive advantage for him. Chase Elliott third, holding on. Stayed out, has not taken fuel yet. He's going to need a caution. His only other alternative is to run long pit and try to not lose more than a lap. And then either take the wave around at the stage end or hope for the free pass. I don't think he's going to get the free pass. Maybe pit halfway through and take tires. I don't know. Bell almost lost it. Bell back to 8th now. That was close. Hamlin continues to move up. I would be extremely worried if I was the field about Mr. Dennis Hamlin. Yeah, Zane was moving pretty well earlier. Worked his way into the top 10, but just outside of it now. Zillage still barely outside of the top 10, so overall, a career day for Zillage so far. Yeah, I mean, Denny's running very well right now. I mean, working his way up from the rear. Only gained a few spots on pit road, so you can't just blame pit road or strategy. He actually did it. But now Chase is up there, and like he's up there. Like, pretty stable. He's not falling back. So right now, Cindric below SVG, right on the cut line. Priest 35 below the cut line. Keselowski 49 below the cut line. So it's already tightened up just over the course of this race. Obviously, these numbers are in flux. Man, Eric Jones would be in such a great position right now if Reddick hadn't have just absolutely obliterated him. He would be, what, 30 back or something? If not the high 20s. Oh, that's a great unit of measurement, King. Very nice, Marco. Josh Berry having a good run today. Yeah, I just think Penske really had it figured out. Even their spare car, Josh Berry, running well. Cindric has fallen off quite a bit. 26th, he was up there with the rest of his teammates and pseudo teammate. All right, Larson under the gun here. Denny gonna somewhat move him up the track. Little contact there, maybe. I don't know if they ever touched. That'll move Larson back to 9th. Hamlin up to 8th. William Byron just getting past. He's going to move back to 15th. That's a net loss of 1 since the end of the stage. All right, Bell going to get around Chastain for an ever important stage point. Chastain cannot lose very many spots here. He needs every single stage point. Still 82 to go in this stage, so it's a long one. Let's take a look back here. 16.6. The whole field's kind of running similar enough lap times. Like, there's not a huge separation between some of these guys. 24.3 compared to 24.9. Like, 6/10. Like, that's significant, but it's not like it was yesterday, where there was a second, sometimes 2-second gap between the leader and the back of the pack. I was just trying to see when Bubba was going to catch the lap traffic, because I think the only thing that may lead to a change of the lead position would be maybe Bubba catching the lap traffic in a bad place. But if some of these lap cars, if they're running the preferred line, we know Bubba's car does well, at least on fresh tires around the bottom. So he may have an easier time working through traffic. That remains to be seen. But maybe in the next 15 laps or so, we might see some of those lapped cars start affecting this battle for the lead. Blaney was really struggling earlier to get through lap traffic. All right, Chastain under the gun. And Austin Dillon's moved back up throughout this stage. 6th right now. So Chastain trying to hold off Denny Hamlin. And Larson continues to fall back to 10th. Has a good gap back to 11th. Crazier things have happened, Christian. I would not have doubted it. If it was Fox, that definitely would have happened. You just come back and there's just a wheel rolling down the front stretch. And then they would have one very poor in-car angle of the actual accident because all the other cameras were looking at random people in the stands. Yeah, I like seeing it, Lou. I like speculating and theorizing. So Dillon might be slowing down a bit here. That could open the door for Chastain. The longer these guys battle, the more that's going to bring Denny right to their rear bumper. You can't really afford to fight someone because then it puts another car out on your bumper. Either have to make the pass or cede the position if you're either driver. Man, Chastain getting the power down so quickly in turn 2. Whoa! Host of our around. That's the caution that Chase Elliott needed. So Chase's day has completely turned around from back in the pack, gambling, staying up there, and holding good track position. Track position type race. Clable Raid. Clable Raid. Thank you, Clable. Good to have you guys. Clable's got to prep for his 5,000 lap Bristol race later this week. He's a madman for attempting it. When he was speculating about it, obviously, I was impressed, but I'm also very worried. It's going to be tremendous. By the way, every dollar donated adds a lap. So if you have a piggy bank, break it open. Let's make this man run 6,000 laps. It's going to be amazing. So if you guys don't know, Clable crossed 5,000 subscribers. And honestly, I think he has the potential to go up to over 100K. But regardless, in celebration of that, he's going to be running 5,000 laps at Bristol And that's the minimum. Every dollar donated is going to add a lap to that total. So things are going to get crazy. I would never speed on pit road, Mr. Nilla Wafer. Never, never, never. Was not me. I was out of town. I keep missing these stream car races. It's a shame. Because if I ever could show up to one, who knows what could happen. I might speed on pit road. What race is this? Thank you, Connor. I had my Dylan Gooden shirt on yesterday. That would have been very nice. Bring back today. Been a very fitting comment. Who's winning the race? Well, right now, we are winning. Just a bunch of guys, bunch of gals. Actually, a few. I have an 80-20 split in my audience. So 80% guys, 20% gals. Having a good time. It's the power of friendship. That's the real winner. What track is this? Iowa have lights? These are all fantastic questions. I implore you to tweet at Bob Pockrass and ask him if Iowa has lights. I don't know if they've invented lights in Iowa yet. I think when the sun goes down, it's like, that's it. Everybody just goes home. The cars don't even have lights. All right. This pit cycle is going to shake things up tremendously. A lot of two-tire calls. Logano, Chastain, Zilich, Byron, Barry all on 2. Blaney first car on 4. Going to lose 4 spots. And Bubba Wallace just evaporated. I don't know what happened. Slow stop for Elliott as well. He gained so much oh my goodness. They dropped the jack too early before they got the left front on. Chase Elliott, all the track position that team worked to gain has been obliterated. So Bubba Wallace's race is going to look different from here on. Chase Elliott once again going to have to come from the rear. That's NASCAR. You never know. You never know. Oh, Jason sent us 3 more pictures. When's Bubba gonna wreck? Well, who knows what happens now? You have half the field on 4, half the field on 2. Track position's at a premium, so I'm not sure how much that's going to help Blaney being on the freshest tires up front. And this running order, this hasn't shaken out yet, I don't believe. But where did Bubba go? They have him scored here 24th. And Chase back to 30th. So Chase Elliott, he was running around 30th. They made the gamble, stayed out. It played into their hands perfectly, and the team threw it away. NASCAR being a team sport. You got to have everything. You got to have the strategy, got to have the setup. The crew chief has to make the proper adjustments throughout the race. Everything has to come together, plus a little bit of that golden horseshoe. Got to have luck. My goodness, what a turn of events. All right, what lap was that caution? I meant to take notes. Then I had to address some very important questions, like if Iowa had lights. So that was lap 141. Let me add that to my notes. So for those of you that are new here, after the race, we'll go live pretty much immediately after with our post-race show, where we just recap the race. We go over points, talk about, big storylines from the day, review the big moments, which so far, I mean, some crazy things to happen, but who knows where this race is going to go from here. That'll go live immediately after the race. And so it's still up there. Let me show it one more time. We do have a number where you can call in, but we haven't done that in a while. Last year we had a lot of good calls. We haven't done as many this year. Typically, these races, they run long. And then by the end of it, I'm just ready to end the stream. Go spend some of my day doing something not NASCAR related, not talking into a microphone related. All right. I was worried about Denny Hamlin, and here he is on the front row. The Toyotas did it. Against all odds, here they are. JGR 1, 2, 3 on the restart. McDowell 4th. Still side by side for the lead here. And they're going to single file it out pretty quickly. A little shocked there. No real fight. Oh my goodness, Larson way up the track. Into the marbles. This isn't a dirt track, buddy. Get down. Oh no, I'm big one. Oh, we're going to stay in the... They're going to throw the caution anyway. Okay. Okay. We went like 4 and 5 wide there. Larson went way up the track. They all got pancaked together. And no one other than Alex Bowman in the Ally Chevrolet received the short end of the stick. This is probably about the 5th time this year Larson has screwed over Bowman. I pay attention. I keep notes. I keep the receipts. I file my taxes yearly. I promise. So John Hunter Nemechek sent Larson up the track. That's what set it off. Okay. And Herbst just didn't know. Spotter did not relay the information. And Bowman got clobbered. My goodness. Can we... Okay. Like we said, that's NASCAR. I was about to say, can we not have a normal race? But that's fine. So it wasn't Larson's fault. That was rough on him there. But now that we saw that John Hunter Nemechek ran him up the track, less disappointed with Larson. I'm more so frustrated with how bad Alex Bowman's luck is. He has to be one of the unluckiest men on earth. Well, aside from getting to race a NASCAR stock car as your full-time job. That's a pretty sick thing. But he has to be one of the most unlucky guys that race in the sport at the moment. Just can't get right. Unfortunate. I almost went and collected a Larson diecast and a Bowman diecast so I could show you guys. This is exactly what happened. Then I would have gotten a hammer or an anvil and just dropped it on Bowman's car to demonstrate what happened. Crazy. They all kept it going straight. So NASCAR, I mean, they did the right thing and called the caution there. Bowman's car was pretty destroyed. That would have been a safety issue, him limping around the track. But it is a miracle. Maybe that's hyperbole, but it's a miracle that everyone else kept it straight. And that could have easily been at least an 8-car incident. But a lot of these side-to-side impacts weaken the toe links if they're not outright bent or broken. So that could come into play later. Just keep an eye on the guys that were involved in that incident. Pull up some replays. So NASCAR on USA, let me go to their page. What have they posted today? All right, I think we're caught up. I have my notes taken. Catch up with chat. Nilla, if you, by the way, I'm sorry for shortening your name, if that's offensive. Vanilla Wafer. Week after week, I don't know what's gonna happen. That's why I dropped to the rear at the beginning of this last race. I almost start and parked it this last week. I don't know what it was. I just wasn't feeling racing this last Friday. And so, you know, I was thinking maybe mid-race I kick my breaker and I just disconnect from the game entirely. But that did not happen. We actually ran pretty well. I received 2 black flags. One at the end of, coming to the end of stage 2. Which set up a very fun stage 3, and then had a shot to win at the end and threw it away 5 over, entering pit road. It was a bad decision to not practice pit entry a couple times, which the only time that I practiced it before the race, I got onto pit road no problems. But I try to engine brake coming onto pit road at places. And even with downshifting quickly, the RPMs fell so fast, I wasn't getting any engine braking. So I slid a bit further than I thought I would. Disappointing. So on the restart, Bell and Hamlin side by side once more. Hamlin on the inside, Bell on the outside. Logano looking not going to be able to make it 3 wide. Still side by side for second as well. Jason says Blake Harris is going to be gone after the season. Oh, Blaney way up the track. Oh, no. No, not again. Okay, we didn't go 4 wide. Riley Herbst was there too, and John Hunter Nemechek. I was starting to hyperventilate. And look at this. Just want to look at. I feel like Jeff Gordon. Look at this. Here is Brad Keselowski. Mr. Where did he come from? Chase Elliott up 2 spots since his error. Bubba Wallace back there as well. Couple guys that were previously in the top 5. Gonna have to run their way all the way back up front. If they want a shot at this, probably going to have to make a strategy call at some point. So, Rusty, I'm not sure if you answered earlier. Are you going to Daytona later this month? Just trying to... The wheels are turning up here. They just shorted your trip next year. Vegas will be 1 day after your departure. And you have to rebook your trip to Italy 4 days after. That's disappointing. They moved the schedule around on you. So Marco has a massive international trip. Marco is our Italian brethren. Biggest American we know, but he's over there representing us in Italy. But he comes over here to the States every spring and has a massive trip. Comes over here, hangs out with Rick Ware, his best friend. So we may have the opportunity to meet Marco this next year. That would be a very cool opportunity. Doodlebug says, how's your day been? If you're asking me, our day's been pretty good. Pretty good. Hope your Sunday's been well. They put Phoenix on Vegas's normal date. The only possible date for Vegas is March 21st. Only second time your neighbor's mowed his lawn this year? Do you live in... Well, I see your profile picture. That's wild. Oh, grass goes pretty quickly in Tennessee. I still like the O'Reilly races. I thought yesterday was really good. But NASCAR 25, or Stream Car as we know it, and iRacing, they have the advantage of not really suffering from the dirty air problem. So tracks like Indianapolis that struggle in real life, you go to iRace, you go to NASCAR 25, and it'll put on an absolute heater of a race because guys are actually able to run right next to each other. And also, if we wreck, we just come to pit road and that's it. It's our day's not over. So we're able to be a little more wild and loose with it. So Bell with the lead. We've seen Bell run up front a lot lately. Been in the position to win multiple times, but always the bridesmaid. Here he is in the lead. Let's take a look at where our lap traffic is. So Bowman's car in the garage right now, not ruled out of the race yet, but I don't know if they're going to return. Larson 4 laps off the pace. Host of our 2 down with his issues today. About 10 seconds back right now. Running 25s. Okay. So it'll be a couple dozen laps before we run into lap traffic. Probably. Yeah, he's going to need a very powerful lawnmower to cut through some of that grass. I did landscaping for a summer back in the day, and I loved it. I liked mowing lawns and doing all that stuff. But regardless, there was one lawn we went to that was overgrown, insane, and they had a lot of dogs. Those dogs were fertilizing the back lawn. It was wild. So we had 3 lawnmowers in a line. First one would go through really slow, like bush hog it. Second one would go through and clean it up. And third would go through and make the final cut. It was a all hands on deck effort there to get that lawn taken care of. Oh dear, Rusty. Oh no, I was just loosely kicking around the idea of coming down there. Maybe not for the race, but to see the rocket launch on the 30th. Just wanted to know. Because if you were going to be at the track, I would have made an extra effort to be there. But hopefully things go well for you, Rusty. That sounds worrying. Okay. Breaking news. I'm getting more information. Yeah, I mean, Jeff Burton's talking right now. He's like marveling at how well Bubba's moving through the field compared to Chase Elliott. We've seen it with our eyes, with our ears, with our third eye and third ear. We know Bubba can pass on the inside. Like, it's clear as day, so I'm not sure why it's a big mystery why he's moved up through the field so well. Bubba was leading the race. He had passed his way up through the top 10 and gotten to the lead. Like, he has a fast car. Chase was stuck in 30th and stayed running around 30th until they made that gamble and restarted up front. So it's not a mystery. That was some very obvious commentary there from Jeff Burton. All right, Bell, so far with our Xfinity fastest lap on lap 164. Not bad. Brad and Ryan running 19th and 20th. They need to pull it together if they want to cut that gap to the cut line. Cindric being behind them helps a bit. Dylan, about the lowest he's been today. He's been running consistently around that back half of the top 5. And at the worst, staying in the top 10. Zillage is still up there. I mean, career day for Zillage. And Byron's the furthest 40 he's been today. He was running around 14th. So Larson 4 laps down. Bowman in the garage right now. And Chase Elliott off on a side quest back here in purgatory. So William Byron taking up the mantle for Hendrick Motorsports. What a year they've had. Reminds me of the first year of the Camaro. Yeah, CeeLo, he does a lot of race coverage. He's been doing it for a long time. So I respect what he's put together. It gets a little hectic the more people you get. And we've had times like big races where everyone's tuning in. We've had hundreds of people in here, and the more people that are participating in chat, the more out of hand it can get. People start beefing with each other, and it just creates a bad environment. So I'm really glad that we've attracted some very kind people, some people that love the sport, love talking about motorsports and racing, and just, you know, keeping it light. Nothing crazy. Well, first year of the Camaro, I didn't mean, when I said it, I knew that that's how some people would perceive it. I meant the Camaro in NASCAR, since they brought it back. But, yes, first year of the Camaro, 67. I think my dad had a 71. And now I have a 2019. I love it too. I love sitting in it. I love looking at it. It's nothing fancy. It's the lowest trim level there is, probably, other than the entertainment package. But I love it. Rumor is Camaro's coming back for the 28 model year, or maybe 29 model year, I forget. But the rumor is it's coming back as a 4-door, which I'm not very excited about. It's not impossible they can make it look good, but the Camaro should be a coupe. It should be a coupe. You can't have a 4-door Camaro. Now, if they want to offer a 4-door option, maybe. I've seen some, I don't know if it was confirmed or not, but some talks of a 4-door Mustang, because Mustang is no longer a car model, it's a family of car models. So they have the, Mach-E? The electric Mustang, and now they may have a 4-door Mustang. And the render I saw, not sure if it was official or not, looked pretty good. Jason said his younger brother used to have an 88 IROC series Chevy Camaro. Not bad. Not bad. Oh dear. Yeah, that's not great, Rusty. Like to see the Matador come back? There are a lot of nameplates and brands that should come back, but it just comes down to money. You know, every decision at that level of the auto industry just comes down to money. And sadly, American consumers, depending on how you look at it, prefer trucks and SUVs right now. So there's not much room for coupes, compacts, and sedans to really come back into the market until trends shift. I hate it. I want smaller trucks. I want the El Camino. Bring the Chevelle. Bring back Pontiac. But those are a few things we may never see. Dodge was able to make a 4-door sports car. That's right. But they offset it by having a 2-door option. You know, you had the Challenger and the Charger. As long as there's 2 options, but the Challenger and the Charger looked very different. But now, I believe this is actually happening. I believe they're offering a 2-door and a 4-door variant of their new Charger. And they still make an electric version, but I believe they also make a 6-cylinder as well. And the Hemi may be coming back. So they figured out very quickly that the typical Dodge customer doesn't want an electric Charger. I just don't think they look as good as the last generation Challenger. The new electric one's disgusting. It sounds kind of cool, but you know it's not real. But I like the attempt they made at having actual, some kind of a sound, but I don't like the look of it. It's like they took the old Challenger and then had a very skilled 7-year-old draw it. I can't get behind it. And I really liked the Challenger. I almost got one. It's also the hottest of garbage. I at least like that they made, the effort to put an internal combustion engine back in the Dodge Charger. All right, let's shift focus back to the race real quick. So Chastain still top 10. Very important for him. Zane Smith 8th right now. Zilich still running top 10. Great day for him. Josh Berry top 10. And Blaney stuck in 11th right now. Austin Dillon 12th. And Bubba only up one more since they highlight. Now, okay, as soon as I say it, he jumps up to 16th. So Bubba, he's made up quite a bit of ground, but he's going to need a little more here. Going to need a lot of work in the third stage. We saw how well the gamble worked out for Chase. Is anyone going to gamble here in this third stage? A lot of teams already did here. A lot of teams took 2 in that last caution cycle. All right, Chastain up to 4th. Huge. Potentially 1 extra point for Chastain. He's going to have to hold on to it for 14 more laps. But that's going to get him just a little closer to that cut line. Cindric here in 25th. Not great. SVG 29th. These are the guys on the cut line. They're going to have to pick it up here. Marco's first car was a Charger RT. 1970. That's nice. All right, Jason. I need a haircut at some point. Jason's talking about haircuts. I need one. Lou says his first truck was a 69 F100. $20 old. 1988, rocking the 1970 Dodge Charger. That would have been great. All right, Joey, 2nd place here. Briscoe's dropped off. So Chastain up to 3rd. I don't think we're going to see Joey cut a 3.5-second gap in 9 laps, barring some really unfortunate incident. But Joey has really turned it up just in the last few weeks. That was my big question going into this week, if Joey was going to continue this momentum. So far, he has. I have a 2004 Toyota Avalon and a 2019 Chevy Camaro. And I was still dailying the Toyota and just using the Camaro basically for longer distance trips up until the war kicked off, if you want to call it that. And now where I go to work, there's higher security. They're doing more inspections. My Toyota has all my fishing stuff in it, and so it's a mess. So instead of taking it there every day, I take the Camaro because there's nothing in the Camaro, and it's easy for them to inspect. So I've been dailying the Camaro more often lately. All right, SVG under the gun. Can he fight to stay on the lead lap? 5 laps, that's a lot to ask. I mean, at the worst, if SVG goes a lap down, he would be the free pass recipient. If not, Cody Ware would receive the free pass. Byron's trying to pick off Denny late in the running here. It's going to be a hard pass. We know it's been hard to pass all day. It's a shame these guys can't follow each other into the corner like the O'Reilly cars could. That was so fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of what we've been doing. I think since the beginning of the NASCAR season, we were around maybe 10,900, and now we're up over 12K. Slow growth. Not as fast as the last couple years before that, but I'm fine with that. This is just a side thing for us, like hanging out with you guys, Whoa, a little wiggle there from Byron. That could have been bad. That could have been really bad. SVG continues to hold on. All right, final lap of the stage. White flag is out. Brought to you by Credit One Bank. Thank you. Thank you, Lee Diffie. I need that Credit One Bank sponsorship. I have brought them up probably 2,000 times. Clayble's a workhorse. I couldn't. Clable is skilled at editing, graphics editing, high energy. He has the personality. There's hardly any ceiling for him. In terms of subscriber count, he could be the next Michael. I just think, especially seeing with how one of my favorite Tarkov streamers, Peanut, has done. Peanut went from Tarkov, which is a pretty niche game. Not many people play it on the grand scale of gaming. To grow from being a Tarkov channel to now playing everything and being one of the biggest streamers, mainly because of his energy and personality, it shows how important that is. And I think Clable has it. Plus, he just has, the talent to go with it. So there we go. Bell takes stage 2. Add that to my notes. Chastain's going to receive, what? 8 stage points? Good for him. Let's take a look. So Bell first, Logano second, third Chastain, fourth Ty Gibbs, fifth Chase Briscoe, sixth Denny Hamlin, seventh William Byron, eighth Ryan Blaney, ninth Zane Smith, and 10th Connor Zillage. Just missing out Josh Berry, Austin Dillon, and Riley Herbst. Ty Dillon 18th right now, not too bad. Brad and Ryan 19th and 20th. Stenhouse, even after spinning today, 21st. And Chase Elliott not able to make up the ground. He stayed on the lead lap, but didn't do much else. Yikes. With how long that last run was, I don't know how much room there is to gamble on a 4-tire call or any kind of different call here. So we have a long run coming up. By the time we restart, we're going to be on the outside of our fuel number. Yeah, 25. Let me click on lose account. Bang. 25. 25. 40,000 views. Good stuff. So Lou, big Titans guy, from what I can see. Boop. Oh yeah, I stalk you guys. All right. The pit cycle has begun. And I think Cody Ware was the free pass recipient there. thought I made a note that Elliott got a free pass earlier, but I didn't. Oh, no. Massive mistake for Logano. The day falls apart. The Cinderella slipper. That glass slipper has cracked. It has shattered. The carriage has turned into a pumpkin. I don't know. I haven't seen Cinderella, so I know about what happens. There's a slipper, and she has a slipper, and it's glass. Yeah. Big Cinderella guy here. Oh, for sure, Marco, for sure. There's definitely guys that just learn. They learn the technique, the proper way to do it. So what other guys are doing, try to emulate it, follow their lines, do this, do that. And there are guys that just have the raw talent. They have the pace, and it's intuitive. The yellow submarine is sinking. I like it. I like it. Oh, that's a shame for Logano. Last 2 weeks have been very kind of, well, not counting the off week. Last 2 race weeks have been very kind to him. And then it has fallen apart here. It's not impossible for him to pass his way back up there, get the right set of cautions and such, but it is going to be an uphill battle for Joey Logano. That's tough. Let's go to our NASCAR.com, click on the Stage 1 results, and I have that loaded up and ready to go for our post-race. As of right now, I can't tell you who's going to win the race because this race has been an absolute mess. Is Chase really going to try this call again? All right, Chase, let's see how this plays out. You're going to need a caution here relatively quickly. That's a chill dog. I was able to pick him up while he was sleeping, and he stayed mostly in the same position. That's a good boy. Today, not just like the track, not just the car, but everything coming together has made this a complete team day. Like, the driver can make somewhat of a difference, but this running order is so jumbled, and it's going to stay largely like this because of how hard it is to pass. So if your team messes up, day could be ruined. If luck doesn't go your way, day ruined. Strategy doesn't go your way, day, like, anything can take you out of the running of this race, and we've seen it happen several times already today. Guys that probably should be up in the top 5, up in the top 10 are, in the garage. They're laps down. It's a lot's happening here. A lot of days have been made and lost by things that didn't happen on track necessarily. The Chase restarting on the front row, but Blaney probably going to take this lead. We'll see. Blaney struggled to pass on the inside earlier. I don't know how well Blaney's going to hold on here. Bell tried to take it 3 wide. Chase Elliott not able to stay up there. Chase going to slot into second. William Byron top 5. Best he's run today so far. Stuck on the inside. And no room to slot in up high. Byron's going to have to do this the hard way. He has Bell running right in front of him, so he doesn't even have clean air to work with. He may just want to slot in behind Gibbs, but he's going to stay up alongside of him. If Denny catches up to Ty, that's really going to force Byron's hand. Ty, I don't know what that was. Middle of the straightaway, he ran right down onto Byron. That was weird. Maybe showing a little displeasure. I'm not sure. All right, they finally single filed out. Byron going to slot in behind Ty Gibbs. Now Allmendinger looking to the inside. How about that? Byron might be the big loser here. Allmendinger making that inside work. And now Denny up alongside Byron. Gonna force Byron way up the track. Got aggressive with him there. Byron the big loser on the restart. Wow. Now he's outside 3 wide. Yikes. Byron from the top 5 to possibly dropping out of the top 10 in just a few laps. Chase held on pretty well. Massive gamble here for that 9. It worked the first time. What are the odds it works the second time? What are the odds? He's going to probably want a caution to fall here in the next 20, 30 laps. Just long enough for everyone to need tires and want to take fuel. But Chase, oh man, he's going to be under the gun this whole time. So Chase back to 3rd, and Chastain's looking to the inside. Chase may fall to 4th here very quickly. Looks like Byron stabilized in 10th. Didn't quite fall out of the top 10. Still, it's just outside of the top 10. Great day for him so far. Bubba's still hovering around 18th. SVG and Cindric, the guys on the cut line, 29th and 30th. We're already looking at a 7-second gap to the lead. I mean, yeah. Good night. Brad Keselowski, last car on the lead lap. I thought Cody Ware got the free pass. Did SVG get passed at the very end of the stage? Not sure what happened there. Chase needs a caution now. Yesterday. He's going to continue to get eaten up. I mean, if they stay above like 15th, it's still a massive win. So Blaney back with control of the race. Up there early, fell back for a while, and then here he is. Things have finally cycled back out for Blaney. Let's check on Joey. Let's get our Joey update. 22nd to 22 in 22nd. All right, up to 21st. Logano putting in work here. Just outside the top 20. And my dog said he always stays within a few feet of me. The only time he wanders off is if there's food. He's a big food guy. All right. Chase Elliott continuing to slide, but he's fighting Briscoe for this 8th position. Side by side right now. Briscoe not quite able to make it work on the bottom. And not a ton of room to clear in front either. AJ Allmendinger, 6th place. Not bad. Not bad. Bubba up to 16th. Also, Ty Dillon 15th. Had a few decent runs for Ty Dillon lately. Some days where he's running just outside the top 10 and maybe something goes wrong and he doesn't get that finish, but Ty almost beat Denny in that in-season challenge. I believe it was week 1. Not bad. Not bad, Lou. Zane Smith just outside the top 10. Good day for him. Gragson running 11th right now. So now move Chase Elliott back to 10th place. Gragson looking to the inside. So the on-screen graphic says final pit window now open. So Chase could feasibly pit here, but it would put him on extremely old tires by the end of this race. So maybe you gamble again. Gamble a 3rd time. Pit now, take the fresh tires, and nah, it's a terrible idea. I don't know what Chase has to do. I think he has to pray for a caution. Or run it as long as he can here. Then he may kick off the green flag pit cycle. I just don't think you can pit here under green flag and then get your lap back before everyone. I just don't see it. This is a difficult place. Chase, he's been behind the 8 ball all day. When they finally looked like they were out ahead of it, they had a terrible pit stop. Dropped the jack before they got the left front on. So Joey Logano up to 20th. Joey needs some cautions here too. I don't know if you're Joey, you know you have a good car. If you get a caution at an interesting time, do you gamble on 2 and just hope we have another caution in 40 laps? And I don't know. So Joey and Daniel Suarez, they must be side by side battling. Suarez got the position back. Whereas Austin and SVG. Austin is running 7th. SVG, though, saw him briefly there, 28th. We're at 16.7 seconds back, probably already 17 seconds back by the time we get around for the next lap. So we will see lap traffic come into the conversation here shortly. That could flip this battle for the lead. Bell was close. He's kind of in that dirty air bubble. 3 to 6 tenths. I guess Joey and Daniel are still fighting. That position is swapped again. What does that mean? You're good to go. Yeah, we got to find out about Brandon. And I need to make sure I'm not going to be anywhere that weekend. I saw a lot of people, speaking to that, Lou, I saw a lot of people very unhappy with Brent Cruz after yesterday. He's just been racing very reckless lately. And a couple times he ticked me off throughout yesterday's race. And then he ended up causing the big one at the end. So, you know, not a great day for that team. You expect more out of your drivers if you're running in JGR or even Junior Motorsports equipment. Or like Corey Day, Hendrick equipment. Sure, like Corey wrecked out of the race. But if you're going to wreck out of the race, make it a single car incident. You know, limit the damage. Bell got right up to Blaney and then lost the nose. Real quick twitch of the wheel. So Blaney's under attack and we are about to approach lap traffic. You can see him. They're almost on the same straightaway now. We'll make a note of it, Marco. I would love to see it. Zach says he's changing his pick to win to Austin Dillon. That's a gamble. That'll happen, Marco. For some people, it's a hard process, and others just skip the line. So it's not a good process or a fair one. So Bell has the better car right now, clearly. Oh my goodness, Bell drove it in deep. He's going to lose the nose again. My goodness. If this was the O'Reilly race, Bell already made the pass, or they're running side by side at the least. So Josh Berry in the top 10. Chase dropped back to 11th. Not awful. Not awful. Now Chase back to 12th. Noah Gragson has gotten clear. Zane Smith is next in line. Joey up to 19th. Now up to 18th, right? Done by John Hunter. Ty Gibbs next on his list. Joey's doing what he needs to do. Like the berry emojis. That was a wild moment. We were live for that. We were live for that. I need to go back and find my reaction. Considering sometimes I'm way ahead of a few of you in terms of where my broadcast is and where yours is, sometimes I try not to spoil it. That ruins my reaction partially. So I'm like, how much do I want to say here? Because especially when I have the broadcast on the antenna, I'm 30 seconds ahead of some of you guys. So I don't want to completely spoil what's happening. All right, Chase Elliott on pit road. This might kick off our green flag cycle. Even, like, also, like, track position is so important here. I'm not sure how much the fresh tires are going to make a difference. So I don't know if this is going to pull as many guys down as it would if this was a Michigan, a Charlotte, you know, some track where you can actually make up 2 seconds a lap on fresh tires. So Chase is going to try on new tires to stay just ahead of Bell. Going to try to stay 1 lap down. He's going to have to run quite a ways before Bell pits. All right, we're seeing a guy with first place speed versus a guy with fresh tires. Chase has just had a massive struggle turning all day. This could be Bell's day, but we have to see. We have to see. A lot could happen here. Late caution. Mistake on the green flag stop. Anything could and can happen. So Joey up to 16th. One of those positions by virtue of Chase Elliott pitting. But he did get by Ty Dillon. And now he's 8/10 behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So he's going to have to run down Ricky Stenhouse in that beautiful NASCAR. Then he gets into some stouter traffic. Bubba Wallace, who potentially has pace to be up there with the leaders. Connor Zilic, up there in the top 10, around the top 10 all day. Zane Smith, same story. Very similar story. And then you have the guys mostly with actual top 10 pace. AJ, I'm not sure how much pace that car actually has, but he has track position and he's held on. So, you know, I think that a lot of the cars are relatively equal in the longer run. It just comes down to where you are on track. You just kind of stay in this bubble of about 2 to 3 positions. Chase and Austin are really close. There could be a pass for position here. Yes, Chase has gotten by Austin Dillon, according to the broadcast scoreboard. And Josh Berry's going for the pass on Byron. Move Josh Berry into 9th. Ty Gibbs gaining ground on Ryan Blaney. Could see Blaney drop another spot here. 87 to go. When does the rest of the field pit? Cindric about to go a lap down. SVG right there with him. Those are the guys on the cut line. This could potentially trap them the rest of the race. I guess they already went down a lap. I was looking at Blaney. I'm used to him being the leader. They're already a lap down. Cole Custer about to go a lap down. Very soon. Next on the chopping block, Chris Buescher. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Joey probably side by side right now. Joey looking to move up to 15th. Then you'll have about, what, 2 seconds to Bubba? Pretty big gap between Joey and Bubba. Might have some clean track if there's no lap cars in the way. There we go. Joey up to 15th. Joey's moving pretty well. He has a really strong car. Big mistake there. Cost them today. Chase Briscoe gaining on AJ. You may see Chase move up to 6th here shortly. Second between Ty Gibbs and Ryan Blaney. .24.6. Yeah, Chase isn't making great lap time. There's not a huge fall off on these tires. Like, it's not dramatic, I should say. Especially with how hard it is to pass. Even if the fresh tires are a full second faster, you're not able to gain that full second lap after lap because you're constantly fighting dirty air. You're constantly managing traffic. So you just don't see a huge benefit from the fresh tires. Out of these guys up here, I mean, that last lap, Denny was looking strong. Briscoe looking strong. Yeah. So Briscoe on old tires, potentially the fastest car up there. We've seen him move up a few times here. Briscoe now into 6th. AJ down to 7th. Josh Berry did get by Austin Dillon. Cindric and SVG running really close. Denny and Chastain running side by side. They have these lap cars right in front of them. Chastain has nowhere to go, a little blocked in. But Denny, a little wiggle on corner exit. I saw Denny Hamlin fishing. I forget who posted the picture. I think it was one of the race reporters, but someone posted a picture of Denny Hamlin fishing just outside the track. Thought that was really cool. Very nice, Jason. Jason has a great head of hair, so it'll take him a few years, but he will potentially grow it back out. It would take a while. So Gibbs tried to close in on Blaney. They both almost lost it. Whew. Someone dropping fluid. Whoa. Just keep an eye out for someone to have some kind of a failure here. So yeah, Ty Gibbs is reporting oil on the track. Could we see a late race caution due to an engine failure? Is someone leaking out there, or is that potentially someone like Larson running damaged and leaking fluid? You'd rather have a Briscoe in? I like Briscoe. I was really glad that Briscoe found a good home in that 19 car. After being caught in Stewart Haas purgatory. So Chase Elliott trying to hold on to the back half of this one lap down group. Bell's been all over him this whole run. So Gibbs did get to second place. Blaney back to third. Logano still 15th. Hasn't been able to close the gap to Bubba. Still about 2 seconds between the two. You know what sounds good right now? Popcorn. I would love some popcorn. My brain is maybe smelling popcorn. Am I having a stroke? Oh, no. Yeah, Jason doesn't have an issue growing the hair, but that may help him grow it faster. Oh, you have a spot in your crown? That'll happen, but you've had a great run with your hair, Jason. You've had a great run. Yeah, Jason, I am trying to somewhere in my schedule fit in a trip to Indianapolis because I need to get up there to see that Jeff Gordon collection at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Like that's a must see. I have to see that. So it's urgent. I am actively trying to get up there. So I'm hoping that works out for us. Might be able to see it the same. Like, if I'm able to see the museum maybe on a Saturday, I might be able to watch a Colts game. Ah, very nice, Jason. Not from Indiana. Not from Indiana. It's not a bad drive for me to get there. Just hop on the interstate. Let me tell you, I would rather drive to Indiana than drive to Atlanta. All right, Denny Hamlin on pit road. Ty Dillon on pit road. I'm in that same time zone. I'll say that. The best time zone. Yes, I'll take it. I think as long as I can find a job, Indiana would be a great place to live. A little slower pace of life. But then the closer I get to Indianapolis, the further away I get from Florida. I like to see the rocket launches. Steve Letarte just realized the same thing we realized earlier. Fresh tires don't matter that much because everyone's running really close lap times. So much dirty air, and this track just doesn't enable you to drive 2 seconds a lap faster like some tracks do. That's wild, Marco. That's wild. I have Google actively search for my information and remove it. All the online registries of like people's names and addresses, even if it's incorrect, I still nuke it. Yes, King and I once lived far apart, but we have reunited. And it feels so good. So Ty Gibbs in the spot now. Making the 2-tire gamble. Ty Gibbs going for the win. Chastain's running long here. That Coast Oil scheme on the 51 looks great. Costa. I follow that guy on Twitter too. The guy who owns those franchises, company, whatever you want to call it. We once did. We once did. You did what, Lou? As long as your neighbor's okay with it. Who's winning? Right now, technically Ross Chastain, but from a certain point of view, Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs just unlapped himself. Why is Lee Diffie yelling? That scared me. Yeah, Arizona is a very wild place in how different certain parts of it look, but my first time out there blew my mind. It looked like I was on the planet Mars. I visited Phoenix, saw the racetrack, stood on top of Rattlesnake Hill. You're gonna watch the IndyCar race from Portland? Should be a good one. IndyCar, they put on a good show. Maybe some of the best racing. Now, Lee Diffie just said they may resurface this track. What they should do is reconfigure it. 40-degree banking. Super Speedway, Iowa. Atlanta-style racing here at Iowa. Perfect. Perfect. No problems. There's no issues with that idea. It definitely wouldn't be a mistake. Austin, it's hard to say where Austin Dillon is because the running order is very shaken up right now. I have no clue where anyone is. We know Ty Gibbs is like technically going to assume the lead. But Bell is closing on Ty Gibbs. How long can Ty Gibbs hold up Bell and have him use up his stuff? Does Blaney have anything for these guys? He's pretty far back. 4 seconds back from these two. And how long are these guys going to run long? The ones that have stayed out. Just hoping for a caution, maybe. Oh, IndyCar wrapped up. Oh, but you can always watch the replay. Alex Palou, no wonder. No wonder. He's so good. I hate when NASCAR and IndyCar go head-to-head. But I understand why it has to happen some weeks. Not bad, Marco. Good work. All right. Ty Gibbs being very aggressive against his teammate. Yeah, I wouldn't want to race for Joe Gibbs. Like, I would not want to race in a team where someone related to the owner was also racing. I wouldn't want to do that. It just creates issues. Nope. Oh my goodness, Zane Smith. Oh no. Zane's about to break up this battle for the lead. When Joe takes his hand off of that supporting column, there's just going to be a handprint indented into the metal. He's gripping that thing for all it's worth. Bell not closing like he was earlier. In that dirty air bubble. We know Bell has the better car. But Ty has the track position. So Allmendinger with the freshest tires out there. That far forward. 14th. Byron with him. Austin Dillon on the same strategy. Allmendinger getting by Cole Custer. So Allmendinger up to 13th. If this holds on, this will be a great race for Colleague. I don't know where Ty Dillon is, but he was up there at one point, and Allmendinger actually stayed in the top 10 and ran in the top 10. That's the those are the exceptions I make, Marco. Yeah, I'm not a fan of being around a ton of people when I can avoid it. My dad early on taught me crowds can be dangerous. We were at a football game, and 90,000 people were asked to go under the stands because there was severe weather in the area, pretty bad. And he was like, if people start crowding us, we need to look for a way out because you can get crushed by a crowd. And you've probably heard of it happening a few times here and there. The most famous recent one, I think, is the Astroworld incident. Yeah, like when my wife and I go into the city, New York City, we will go through Times Square maybe a couple times, but that's it. We walk in and out. We don't stay. Too many people, too many variables. So Chastain running really long on this strategy. Gibbs only 15.6 back from Chastain, so Chastain's definitely going to lose the lead, but he also may lose the lead lap by running as long as he has. But again, there's not a huge time difference between these guys. Ross running around 25, Ty running at maybe a half second quicker at times. The track itself and the car limit how fast the fresher tires can go. Jason, did the Indiana State Fairgrounds have a it was like the Pepsi Coliseum or something? I think it was some kind of a stadium sponsored by Pepsi. I went to a rodeo at a place like that once. It was some fairgrounds around Indianapolis. I saw a rodeo there a long time ago. It's awesome. Going to a rodeo is sick. I don't watch rodeos often, but when I see one on TV, I tune in. Or on YouTube. I find it very entertaining. Oh, that's rough, Marco. Yeah, when you're here in the spring, the Packers aren't playing at that point. Oh, nice. Well, I've been there, Jason. I've been there. I know exactly the place you're talking about. Oh, for sure, Marco. Christian says he has an idea for our next stream car outfit. Fireworks on the green screen, dress up like a corn cob. That is certainly an idea. So how I would have to do that is I would have to make an OBS scene, like what we're this, and then do the green screen stuff, and then somehow capture that into a camera source, and then port that over to Discord. And there's a way to do it, but I don't know how yet. I'm sure it's a relatively simple process. Because, by the way, the Discord green screen sucks. It doesn't use my actual green screen. It does a digital one, and so that's why it looks so bad. Yeah, that's typically not when NFL football is played. Now, maybe if the Packers make it to the Super Bowl, if you got here a little earlier, it would only cost an arm and a leg, but, you know, a little trip to the Super Bowl. Chastain's still out there running. There's no way they stretch it to the end. So, like, I guess he's just still hoping and praying for a caution, but if one falls now, most guys are probably either going to stay out or take two, and Chastain's really going to be in big trouble here, potentially throwing away a great finish. We know he's received a ton of stage points, but just be a bit worried if I was Ross about giving away what could have been a huge day. I respect the gamble, but at some point, you got to accept the reality of the situation. Still waiting on this running order to settle down. We have some holdouts running long here that have things jacked up. Yeah, Buescher on the same strategy as Chastain. Buescher actually down pit road. Chastain down pit road. Beautiful paint scheme on that Busch Light Chevy Camaro. Chevy kind of Camaro. So now Ty Gibbs to the lead. Bell not able to get there. It's looking a lot like another Bell second place finish. Ever the bridesmaid, Bell. Once again, snake bit potentially. That is something. Bell just has to... Bell lost the corner there. Bell has to stay close and hope for traffic to hold up Ty Gibbs. I mean... Dirty air. Dirty air. So I have a little preview. After the race, we go live with our post-race show. I have Ty Gibbs on the banner now. We'll see if that changes. We will see. I just don't think there's anything Bell can do without Gibbs throwing this race away. Shark blood sounds like snow cone flavor. Blaney's actually lost time to the leaders here over the course of this run. He was 4 seconds back. Now he's 7 back. Great race for Josh Berry. Chastain holding on to 7th. Not bad. I was worried for him, but I'm guessing they took fuel only. Maybe 2 at the most. This is not bad. Ugh. Bell lost the nose again mid-corner. Gonna lose some time here. some people in the online community are going to have a field day if Bell finishes second again. Man, Bell's losing front grip. He just loses the nose every now and then. Small correction cost him a little time. All right, the battle's close, but all it takes is a little dirty air, and Bell will lose 3/10 immediately. Got it. Yeah, I'm not very happy with the dirty air today. After seeing what this track can do yesterday, and then just like Indy, just like Indy, the O'Reilly car is so much better. It's so much better. Five laps to go. Is there any way Bell can somehow see the air, break the laws of physics, and do the impossible, that is passing in this Gen 7 car? Man, USA or NBC, more than any other broadcasting group, loves to show the spouses, the girlfriends, the mothers. They love it. Into these races, you just get shots of whoever. 5 to go for Kyle, not bad. Well, we'll let it count. We'll let it count. Yeah, definitely a great day for Zillage. Like, yeah, sure, he's only in 11th right now, but a banner day. Oh, lost the nose again. Ah! This is so frustrating to watch. He comes again. Leader for your call of the century. Bell just does not have the front grip to really make this count. 1 lap to go, brought to you by Credit One Bank. I was about to say Brad Keselowski, and then I said bank. It came out break. It's over. Ty Gibbs doing just enough, putting it all together, and winning the Iowa Corn 350. Congratulations, Bell. 69 points on the day. Josh Berry finishing 4th. Great day for him. Look at that. It takes the whole team. Crew chief made the right call. They got the lead and held it. And that's a great win by the 54 team. And Gibbs did just enough. Didn't make a mistake. Everything came together. In these dirty air Gen 7 races, what a celebration. Dude, Gibbs is burning it down. That was really cool. That was really cool. Hey, Gibbs, bravo. That was an excellent. it was a burnout and donuts. That was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. But these races where it's dirty air, where it's track position, everything has to come together. Oh my goodness, Ty Gibbs is a madman. This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I rank this above seeing the birth of my third child. This is tremendous. Now, I'm a little skeptical with how much he damaged the car there. Is he hiding some kind of a cheat, some kind of an advantage? Because he destroyed the underside of this car. What a celebration. We're going to wrap things up here, ladies and gents. And we will transfer you guys over to the post-race. If you want to join us over there and drop a like on the stream, I would much appreciate it. And I always say we're going to wrap this one up quickly. We'll see how long this one goes. We'll try to keep it under 30 minutes. I'll see you guys over there. Thank you guys for joining us for our race coverage. And until next time,